Hi students, welcome back to the class. Today I am going to explain the topic change in color. So there are few characters I am already discussed in our previous class. For example, formation of precipitate, energy change and color. This type of changes in our chemical reactions. Today I am going to explain the second one, changing color. So some of the chemical reaction, as a result some color change into another color. So I will explain to you how to change and which substance, which reactants we are taken for the reaction. Okay. The first one, decomposition. What is meant by decomposition? Decomposing one change into another. Okay. So here the decomposition of copper carbonate on heating. Copper carbonate on heating. So we want to take copper carbonate. Chemical formula CuCO3. In the help of heat, we are heating the copper carbonate. As a result, what happens? Carbon dioxide gas is formed. First product, carbon dioxide gas. So what is our topic? Changing color. Okay. For first one, we want to observe what is the color of copper carbonate. Copper carbonate is a pale green color. Okay. While heating the copper carbonate, the pale green color turned to, first of all we get two products. First one, carbon dioxide is also liberated out. And second one residue. We will get on heating, we will get a residue. That residue is called copper oxide. Copper oxide. So this copper oxide, what is the color of copper oxide? So that residue, that is a copper oxide, black in color. So here easy to identify. It's a very clearly visible. The copper sulfate, the help of heat, the pale green colored copper sulfate changed into copper oxide, the color black. So byproduct means the product, we get a new product. That product color is entirely different the reactant. So color is black. The pale green color turned to black. It is the best example of the change in color. It is one type of the one peculiar character of chemical change. And one more example I will give you. That is the formation of copper sulfate. Formation of copper sulfate from the copper sulfate. From the copper sulfate. So this reaction. So first one, what's the name of the reactants in the chemical reaction? The reactants copper sulfate. Copper sulfate. What is this? Hydrogen sulfide. So here the hydrogen sulfide introducing to the copper sulfide. The copper sulfide color is a blue. So after adding the hydrogen sulfide into the copper sulfate, that turned to copper sulfide, copper sulfide. So one arrow is also mentioned here in downward direction. That means the adding is introducing the hydrogen sulfide into the copper sulfate. That turned to copper sulfide settled down. So what is the color of that copper sulfide? It is a black in color. So blue turned to black color. And one more product is also formed. That's a sulfuric acid. What's the product? Sulfuric acid. So these two example is given very clear information or clear ideas about how to change. Means the best example of changing color, and some of the reactants react into form another color. That's the first one. Copper carbonate is turned to copper oxide. The color is black in color. The pale green turned to black. And here also copper sulfate, in the help of the hydrogen sulfate, the blue color turned to black color. What is the product? Black color? Copper sulfide. So that arrow give the information, means given the idea. That's a settle down. Settle down means the test tube which container we are using, the bottom, in the means bottom of the container is also hold, means settle the copper sulfide. And one more product is sulfuric acid. So I hope all of you understood this chemical reaction, changing color, formation of precipitate, from the chapter Language of Chemistry. And it is a main character of chemical reaction. In last class I am already explained a few characters about the chemical reaction. It is the one of the chemical reaction character as a formation of precipitate. So today I will going to explain three different characters or three different chemical reactions. These three reactions are producing the precipitate. First of all, you want to understand what is the meaning of precipitate. Okay, the precipitate means some chemical reactions, not all the reactions, some chemical reactions are characterized by the formation of insoluble solid. Formation of insoluble solid is called precipitate. So some of the chemical reaction only this type of precipitate formed. Okay, let's see which type of chemical reactions formed this type of precipitate and what is the color. Now I am going to explain. The first one, the formation of silver chloride. Formation of silver chloride. And second one, formation of barium sulfate. Barium sulfate. And third one, formation of iron sulfide. Sorry, iron hydroxide. Formation of iron hydroxide. So here some reactants react to form the product. So that product must be one precipitate. One product is a precipitate. So let's see what is the name of the precipitate formed in this chemical reaction. The first one, formation of silver chloride, AgCl. So the reactants, silver nitrate that react with the sodium chloride, into form silver nitrate precipitate. Silver chloride precipitate. So what is the color of the silver chloride precipitate? White PPT. That means white precipitate. So here showing the downward arrow. What is the meaning of this downward arrow? The downward arrow is denoting while the chemical reaction, after some of the chemical reaction produce the precipitate, that precipitate going to settle down. That means that's an insoluble solid that is settled down the test tube or the container. That's why we are denoting the downward arrow. And one more product is also formed in this chemical reaction. That's the name sodium nitrate. Sodium nitrate. Once again I am explaining this one. Formation of silver chloride. Okay. So the reactant names you want to learn: silver nitrate and sodium chloride. These are reacted to form the white precipitate, that is a silver chloride, and one more product is also formed, that is sodium nitrate. So in this chemical reaction, what is the color of the precipitate? So clearly is to understand that is a white precipitate. White precipitate. And let's go to second one. Formation of barium sulfate. Formation of barium sulfate. BaSO4. Barium sulfate. So the reactants barium chloride and the dilute sulfuric acid. And dilute sulfuric acid react into form the barium sulfate. That means barium sulfate, and one more product is also hydrochloric acid, HCl. Okay. So the barium sulfate is also, that means that's an insoluble solid, that's a precipitate. What is the color of the precipitate? Barium sulfate. Curdy white precipitate. Curdy white precipitate. So in this reaction, the barium sulfate is also formed in the form of precipitate. The color of the precipitate, curdy white precipitate. Okay, and come to the next one, third one, the formation of iron hydroxide. Formation of iron hydroxide. So here iron sulfate, the reactant name, first one iron sulfate and the sodium hydroxide, and the sodium hydroxide react into form the sodium sulfate. Sodium sulfate and iron hydroxide. Iron hydroxide. So the iron hydroxide is a precipitate in this reaction. In this chemical reaction, what is the name of the precipitate? Iron hydroxide. And what is the color of the iron hydroxide? Clearly, that is a green precipitate. So in this reaction, that precipitate is formed in the form of, in the color green color. So easy to identify that green color is denoting the iron hydroxide. So this character means that the formation of precipitate. So in some of the chemical reaction is produced, the insoluble solid substance is called precipitate. So I hope all of you understood this chemical reaction. These three chemical reaction: formation of silver chloride, and the formation of barium sulfate, and the formation of iron. Evolution or absorption of heat. It is one of the important characteristic features of the chemical reaction. What is the topic? Evolution or absorption of heat. Okay. So according to this reaction, sometimes the heat is evolved or sometimes heat is absorbed, and both reaction is conducting in the same time. So I will give you information and a detailed explanation about this topic or about these characters. First one, the reactants. I hope all of you know what is meant by reactants. The reactants react into form a product, plus produce the heat energy, otherwise some other energy also produced. So in this topic you will get the information about the reactions after getting the light energy or the heat energy, otherwise both light and heat energy. Let's start the first one. Evolution or absorption of heat. The first one, evolution of light. So some of the chemical reaction, after the reaction, that reaction produce the light energy. So here magnesium react with oxygen into form a magnesium oxide. Magnesium oxide, MgO. So here this reaction, magnesium means magnesium ribbon, react with atmospheric oxygen that produce the brilliant light, otherwise the dazzling white light is produced. So this reaction is the best example of the evolution of light energy. By the production of the product magnesium oxide, we easy to identify the color and easy to identify the light energy is produced in this chemical reaction. That's the first one, evolution of light. So here which energy is formed? Light energy. So the reactant names, one is the magnesium and second one the oxygen. The react together into form a magnesium oxide with the dazzling light flame. Dazzling light flame. So this example is a production, means evolution of light energy. And next one, evolution of heat. Some of the chemical reaction, after the reaction is produced the heat energy also. Heat. So I will give you the one example about the how to heat energy formed and which reactants needed for the chemical reaction. So here evolution of heat, magnesium and the hydrochloric acid. We want to take the small piece of ribbon, means magnesium ribbon, and put into the test tube and add hydrochloric acid into the magnesium. What happened? The product magnesium chloride is also formed, plus hydrogen gas is also formed, and we will see and identify the test to slowly warm. Heat, the means heat is produced. The reaction between the hydrochloric acid and magnesium, there are 2-3 products is also formed. The first product is magnesium chloride, second product is hydrogen, the third is a heat energy. Easy to identify, that means that we will feel the heat, means that has to gradually increase the temperature, means the heat, produce the heat. Okay, so it is the best example for the evolution of heat energy. So what is the reactants in this reaction? Magnesium and hydrochloric acid. What is the product? Product is magnesium chloride and the hydrogen and the heat energy. Okay, and come to the third topic, evolution of heat and light. Some of the chemical reaction that product, maybe the light energy is also formed and light energy also, light and heat energy produced in the same reaction. So what best examples given here, charcoal, coal, coal react with the atmospheric oxygen into form 3 different products. The first one is carbon dioxide, gas is also emitted out, and second one heat energy and light energy also formed. The coal react with the oxygen into form the carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide is a gaseous form, is emitted out, and the light energy and the heat energy also formed. This is an example of the evolution of light and heat energy. So I repeat once again, the characteristic features of chemical reaction. The third one, evolution or absorption of heat. Based on the heat evolution is classified into 3 categories or 3 best examples given here. The first one, magnesium react with the oxygen into form magnesium oxide and the light energy is formed. And second one, evolution of heat. So here magnesium and the hydrochloric acid react to the into form magnesium chloride, hydrogen and heat energy. And third one is also evolution of both heat and light energy. And next topic, exothermic and endothermic chemical reaction. Exothermic and endothermic chemical reaction. So here, based on the heat energy is absorbed or evolved, the chemical reaction is classified into 2 categories. First one, exothermic reaction and the endothermic reaction. What is mean by exothermic reaction? The exothermic reaction means the heat energy is evolved. Heat energy is evolved means produced in this chemical reaction is called exothermic reaction. What is mean by exothermic? Exothermic means heat energy is evolved. So in this chemical reaction, the heat energy is produced. This type of energy, this type of reaction is called exothermic reaction. And next one, endothermic reaction, just to opposite. Means while the chemical reaction that reactants need the more energy, they are absorbing the energy. Absorption of energy is called exothermic reaction. I will explain that one. How to the energy produced during the exothermic reaction, how to absorb, what is the reason for absorption, what is the result of absorbing the heat energy, I will explain to you. Listen carefully. The first one, based on the heat, the chemical reaction classified into 2. The first one, exothermic chemical reaction, means exothermic reaction. So here, calcium oxide, CaO. That means calcium oxide, simply quicklime. So this calcium oxide react with water into form loads of heat energy along with the calcium hydroxide also formed. What is the product? Mainly heat energy and the calcium hydroxide. While adding the water over the calcium oxide, what happened? Let's produce the bubbles. As a result, produce the heat energy. So it is the best example of the exothermic reaction. So calcium oxide react with water into form calcium hydroxide plus heat energy. Okay. Second one, endothermic reaction. So here given the two different examples. Endothermic reaction. Endothermic reaction means heat absorption process. Heat absorbing process is called endothermic reaction. Okay. The first one, nitrogen react with the oxygen into form monoatomic into form nitrogen monoxide, NO, 2 molecule of nitrogen monoxide. So here the nitrogen and oxygen, they are ready to combine. So for the combination, for the combining, they need the huge energy, heat energy. The more than 3000 degrees Celsius, 3000 degrees Celsius required for combining the nitrogen and oxygen into form nitrogen monoxide. For the production of nitrogen monoxide, they need the 3000 degrees Celsius. So that's given here. In this reaction is also energy means heat is absorbing process. Here the heat is absorbed into form a nitrogen monoxide. And next one, calcium carbonate. So this calcium carbonate want to break into two simpler forms. They need the energy, heat energy. There are 1000 degrees Celsius energy required for the breaking of calcium carbonate. Breaking the calcium carbonate into form calcium oxide plus carbon dioxide. What is the requirement of the heat energy in this reaction? There are 1000 degrees Celsius. So I hope all of you understood this topic. What is meant by exothermic and endothermic, change of physical state and the generation of smell from the chapter language of chemistry. The topic, the characteristics features of chemical reaction. There are many characters. The last two characters, this one, physical state and the generation of smell. So this one, some of the chemical reactions that produce the smell also, and someone is also change the state one form to another form. For example, the liquid change into solid, otherwise liquid change into gas, and gas change into solid. This type of changes. So let's see here. I will explain to you with the help of the example how to change, and which is the better example for this. Let's see this one. First one, change of physical state. Change of physical state. The example, the best example for ammonia gas react with the hydrogen chloride gas. Here the both reactants having in gaseous state. Okay. The both are react combined together to form the product is a solid. It is a crystalline solid, ammonium chloride. So what happened? These two gas changing into solid. So it is the best example for the change of physical state. Once again, ammonia gas react with the hydrogen chloride gas combined to form ammonium chloride in the form of solid state. Okay, so here is to understand the gas changing to solid. It is the best example for the change of physical state. Okay, and next one, generation of smell. Some of the chemical reactions combined together means reaction that produce the smell, some distinctive smell, otherwise irritative smell. So I will give you the best example for this topic. Here, hydrogen. The hydrogen react with the sulfur into form the hydrogen sulfide. So this hydrogen is no smell and sulfur is no smell. But in the case of after reacting these two reactants into form the hydrogen sulfide is a very irritative smell, distinctive smell, for like a rotten egg smell, rotten egg smell. So that's why some of the chemical reactions, after the reaction, produce some of the distinctive smell. So I hope you all have understood this topic. Condition necessary for the chemical reaction. So there are few characters, conditions required for the chemical reaction take place. So today we are going to discuss about this topic. First one, we want to understand the conditions. First condition, that is close contact. Second one, the solution. Third one, heat for the light and the electricity, pressure and the catalyst. These are the conditions very important for the chemical reaction for take place. Okay. So first one, what is mean by close contact? So close contact means here the reactants want to be the near and close, nearly. Okay. So example, the close contact. Sodium and the water, the both are need to be the close. As a result, the both are combined together into form the product sodium hydroxide and hydrogen. So close contact means the reactants want to be the close. Okay. And second one, solution. Second one, solution. Here the chemical reaction is need the solution. For example, silver nitrate in the aqueous solution and the sodium chloride, the both are react together into form the solution. That solution contain silver nitrate. That silver nitrate is a white precipitating form. Okay, and the sodium nitrate. So in this chemical reaction, after the reaction we get the solution. That solution contains the two products. One is the sodium nitrate and second one white precipitate contain, that is a silver chloride. Okay. So second condition, solution. And third one, heat. Third one, heat. That means, so the calcium carbonate want to be break into the simpler form that need huge heat energy. In the help of heat energy only, the calcium carbonate break into in their simple form like calcium oxide and the carbon dioxide. Okay. So the heat energy is very necessary for the chemical reaction. And the fourth one, light energy. Light. This one is a very familiar reaction. Very familiar reaction. It is a photosynthetic reaction. I hope all of you know what is a photosynthesis. This is the help of the light or light energy. The synthesis they are all food. So here carbon dioxide and water combine means react together in the help of sunlight only. In the help of sunlight. The sunlight is also received. In the help of this sunlight, this carbon dioxide and water combine together to form the glucose and oxygen. So that fourth condition is light is a very necessary condition for the chemical reaction. And next one, electricity. Electricity means, so the other name of this reaction is called electrochemical reaction. In the help of electricity, it is only possible. Let's see the chemical reaction. The water want to break into their simpler form like the hydrogen and the oxygen in the help of electricity only. Okay. For example, that water, acidified water means that contains the little amount of acid. So while we are sending the electricity into the water, what happens? The water splitting into their simpler form, hydrogen and the oxygen. Hydrogen and oxygen. And next one, pressure. Some chemical reactions need the high pressure for their chemical reaction. So one example is given here. The nitrogen react with the hydrogen into form ammonia. Nitrogen and hydrogen, the both are react in the help of high pressure only into form ammonia is a product. So here pressure is very necessary for the chemical reaction. Some of the chemical reaction, not all, some of the chemical reaction, the pressure is required. And next one, last one, catalyst. Catalyst, what is catalyst? The catalyst help to the speed the reaction. Okay. So some of the catalyst is required for the rapid, means the speed reactions. So here is also mentioned one best example of the catalyst. So here sulfur dioxide react with the oxygen. So here it is not ready to react, but they need the one catalyst. So here platinum or vanadium pentoxide, any one of these is required for this completing this chemical reaction. So sulfur dioxide plus oxygen, they want to react or want to combine in the help of platinum or vanadium pentoxide into form the sulfur trioxide. So for the formation of sulfur trioxide, one of the catalyst is required. What's the name of the catalyst? Maybe platinum, otherwise the vanadium pentoxide. So I hope all of you understood this topic, the conditions necessary for the chemical reaction. There are few conditions written here and there, examples also given here. So all of you learn these chemical reactions. Thank you.